Hi, I'm Ryan Hooson. This is my research proposal titled The Impact of Cultural Traits on Help-Seeking Behavior and Mental Health Literacy Among Chinese International Students. As you can see from this information collected from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, education is currently number 3 on Australian exports. There's more than 700,000 international students in Australia, and this figure is growing every year. Majority of these students are from China, so my proposal will be focusing on Chinese international students. Previous research has investigated the difference between international and domestic students when it comes to mental health. However, it's not consistently been found that international students are any worse off than domestic students. What has been found, however, is that international students' help-seeking behavior is much less than it is for domestic students in English-speaking countries. The coroner's report from Victoria in 2019 highlighted a major issue and shortcoming when it comes to international students, in that there were much lower rates of international diagnosis and lower rates of help-seeking behavior prior to suicide. This investigation followed the death of a young Chinese student in Victoria, where he did not access any services prior to this. A lot of previous research has focused on acculturation, and more specifically acculturative stress, which is a stress reaction in response to life events that are rooted in the experience of acculturation. The acculturative stress scale was developed and was used in multiple studies. However, when coupled with open-ended questions, this scale produced mixed results. This suggests to me that acculturative stress is insufficient when trying to fully explain the experience of international students in English-speaking countries. I would propose more focus on mental health literacy, help-seeking behaviors, and the uniquely Chinese cultural traits of repressed emotional expression, perfectionism, guilt, and shame. Mental health literacy talks mostly about the knowledge and beliefs of mental disorders, and recognizing, managing, and preventing mental disorders. The Chinese view of mental health is obviously very different, and they talk about fortitude and strength in overcoming difficulties. When queried about mental health, in one study, a Chinese person stated that they don't take mental health seriously in Chinese culture, and that they do have counseling departments in hospitals, but people do not want to, or do not want others to know about their attendance to these services. Help-seeking behaviors have consistently been lower for international students than for domestic students. Of 54% of Chinese students reporting high levels of distress, only 9% in Australia have engaged with services. When asked about this low rate of help seeking, students have stated that they have a lack of knowledge of the services, and they did not believe that their issues would make a threshold for severity. Avoidance and repression are dominant coping strategies among international students also. When we talk about uniquely Chinese traits, we talk about restricted expression of negative emotions and the refined focus of avoiding guilt and shame. There's also a strong inclination towards perfectionism. And this is all rooted in Confucian teachings as well, which is common in collectivist traditions. They focus on not expressing personal weakness for the sake of harmony. And this harmony is amongst family, and society is an extension of the family also. Methods for my study will focus mainly on acculturative stress scales, mental health literacy, help-seeking intentions also, but also the uniquely Chinese traits of perfectionism, guilt and shame, and the expression of emotions. I'll also talk briefly about subjective student pressure from the family. So this might be who or where the funding is coming from for international study, whether it's from the parents or from scholarship, what expectations there are for the student to succeed. their parental relationships, and success of other siblings in the family. Future directions for study could include qualitative components, and this would allow further exploration of the interaction of culture and help seeking behaviors and mental health literacy. Thank you.